So we're going to join our silver yarn to the any two chain corner space with a standing treble. So pinch the yarn like so, wrap around 3 times, insert your hook into the chain 2 space and complete your treble. Now we're going to chain 2. And now we're going to put another treble into that corner space. So that's what each of your corners should look like. Now we're going to work a back post treble around the next DC. So we're inserting our hook from the back into that chain 2 corner space over the front and into the next space on the other side of that DC. So yarn over first, insert your hook into the back, over the front of that DC post, so that post ends up on the back of your hook. Grab the yarn and pull through from the back over the front to the back again and finish off your treble. Okay, so we're going to do that again. Insert your hook from the back onto the side of that DC there. So that's your DC, so we're entering from this side of the post and over the front of it. So that post ends up on the back of your hook. So we've done 2 and now we need another one into the next DC. Can you see where I'm entering there? So the next DC is here. So I'm going to come from the back and put my hook into that space there. That's the post there, so I'm going into that next hole. So it ends up on the back. Okay, so they're your back post trebles. So now we're going to do 2 front post double trebles around the 2 front post trebles from round 3. So this is a double treble, so don't forget to yarn over twice. Insert your hook around that front post treble on round 3 and finish off your double treble. And again, yarn over twice into that next front post double treble and finish off your stitch. Okay, so now we've got 2 back post trebles to do around the DCs from your previous row. So making sure that we're missing 2, so not getting that V, because that's where the double trebles are sitting, into that next stitch. So wanting another one of them into the next stitch. And now we're wanting 2 front post double trebles around the next 2 front post trebles from round 3. Oops. And the next one. And now to make this row symmetrical, we're going to finish off with 3 back post trebles around the last 3 DC from your last round. So making sure you're missing 2, missing that one and that one. So enter in here. 1 into the next one, 2, and the last one. So your hook ends up in that 2 chain space. 3. Okay, so that's what you're repeating. You're repeating that along in 3 other edges. So into this corner space, it's going to be 1 treble, 2 chain, 1 treble. Then over your next 3 DC, it's going to be back post trebles. Then front post double treble down, reaching down to your 2 front post trebles from round 3. 2 back post trebles here, working into the DC from your previous round. 2 front post double trebles around the front post trebles from round 3, and then finishing it off with the 3 back post trebles working into the DC from your previous round. Okay, so when you get to this point here, we can finish off this row. So now we've got to the end of round 5, we can join with an invisible join. So cut the working end of the yarn use your hook to pull up the yarn. Now we're inserting our hook. We're joined with a standing treble, so we're inserting our hook into that first chain that we did, which sits at the top of that standing treble here. That little V there, that's what we're going through. There we go. Grab the yarn that you've just cut, pop it on the hook and pull it through to the front. And then that last treble, back post treble that we did, we're inserting the hook from back to front, just picking up that back loop, not the full stitch. Grab the yarn and pull it through to the back. That's your invisible join. So now we can have a look at our stitches. In between each of your 2 chain spaces, you should have a treble that's going into that corner, a normal treble, 3 back post trebles, 2 front post double trebles, 2 back post trebles, 2 front post double trebles, 3 back post trebles, and 1 normal treble going into that corner space. So if you've got that amount of stitches on each side, you should be on track. Okay, so now we need to grab our Storm Blue yarn for round 6. So we're joining our Storm Blue yarn to any 2 chain corner space with a standing treble. Pinch the yarn, wrap around about 3 times, insert the hook into a chain 2 corner space, grab the yarn and pull through 2 and pull through 2. Okay. So now we're going to put another treble into that corner space. Chain 2 and 2 more trebles into that corner space. So that's what every corner is going to look like. Now we're going to work a front post treble around the next treble, which is this corner one here. So front post treble, there we go. And then we're going to work a treble into each of the next 12 stitches. So that should take us to the stitch before, it should take us to the stitch before the end. So the 12th should go in there. Okay, so just 1 treble into every stitch, into each of the next 12 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, and that has taken us to that stitch just before. That last one is the one that we need to do a front post treble in to make it symmetrical. So front post treble around the next stitch, which is the one that's going into this corner space here. Okay, so that's what we're repeating all the way around. It's quite a simple round. So I'll just work the corner with you, which is 2 trebles, 2 chain, and 2 trebles. Okay, so your next stitch will be a front post treble. All the rest will be normal trebles until you get to that last one, and that will be a front post treble. And then same into your corner and along the other 2 sides. So I'll see you when you get to this point here. So now we should have completed round 6. So let's just take a look at our stitches in between each of the 2 chain spaces. We should have 2 trebles that are going into the corner, these 2 here, a front post treble that's going around the first corner stitch of your last round. Then you should have just 12 normal trebles going into each stitch along here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 with a front post treble into that last stitch on your previous round, with 2 trebles going into that corner space. So you should have 18 stitches along each, in between each of your 2 chain spaces. Okay, so if you've got that, we can finish it off. So cut the working end of the yarn, grab the hook and pull up, inserting your hook into the first stitch of that first normal treble, so not your standing treble, the stitch that sits above your first treble. There. Grab the yarn and pull to the front. Then the very last front post treble that you did, inserting your hook from back to front, just picking up that back stitch. Grab the yarn and pull through to the back. There you go, invisible join. So that's round 6 finished. We can now grab our copper yarn to start round 7. So we're joining our copper yarn to any front post treble that comes before the chain 2 corner space. So that could be this stitch here or this stitch here. So that's the front post treble before the chain 2 corner space. So we're going to join to that with a standing DC. So pinch the yarn and wrap around a few times as usual. Insert your hook into the top of that front post treble. Yarn over and pull through 2, and that completes your standing half treble, standing DC, sorry. Then we're going to work a DC into the next stitch. Okay. And now we're going to work a front post double treble into the next front post treble, which as you can see is all the way over here. Okay, so insert your hook into there, grab the yarn, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. And that completes your front post double treble, stretching over here. Now I'm missing the next stitch, so that one there, I'm working straight into the corner, working a DC, 2 chains and a DC. And now we're working a front post double treble, going back on ourselves, working over to the front post treble that we went past over here. Okay, so underneath that stitch, so the post is on top of the hook, and finish off your double treble as normal. There we go, so that creates this cross effect in the corner. We're missing our next stitch, which is this one here, and we're working a DC into the next 3 stitches. Now we're working a front post treble over the next 2 stitches. Like so. And then a DC into the next 6 stitches. So when we started those 6 stitches here, making sure that you're not working into them 2 stitches there where your front post trebles have been worked into. Okay, and then front post treble over the next 2 stitches. There we go. So as you can see, your new front post trebles are sitting just at either side of your front post double trebles from the 5th round. So they should just be sat on either side. Okay, now we're going to work, miss them 2 stitches that you've worked into there, and work 3 DCs into each of the next 3 stitches. There we go. And now we're at a point where we're repeating all that again. So yarn over twice because we're working a front post double treble over to this front post treble all the way over here. There we go. Now we're missing that stitch on the end there and working DC, chain 2, DC. And now we're working a front post double treble, working back over here. So yarn over twice, going back into that one that we missed over here. Grab the yarn, pull through and finish off your double treble. So you've got that lovely cross shape again. Missing that first stitch there after the chain 2 space and working 3 DCs along. So we've worked into that one there, and now we're working a front post double treble around the next treble, front post treble around the next treble, and a front post treble around the next treble. Making sure we're not working into them stitches again because we've already worked in them. We want to work 6 DCs across into each stitch. How many have I got? 5, 6. Then a front post treble over the next 2 treble. There we go. And then a DC, missing them 2 there. A DC into the next 3. And then we're at a position where we can start our front post treble again, front post double treble, working into the one over here, and then working into that corner space, then working a front post double treble over to here, and then same again. So that is what we'll be doing over the next 2 corners, remembering that when you get to this edge, you don't need to do the last 3 DC over the last part of your row is to do 3 DC like we have done here, but you only need to do 1 because we already did 2 at the beginning. So you work along here, put your 2 front post trebles into each of these trebles here, and then 1 DC, and that finishes it off. Okay, so I'll see you when you get to that point.